So what we're trying to do in this paper is to shine a spotlight on an emerging trend, which is that of using financial innovation, financial tools for the pursuit of the Sustainable Development Goals. In our particular case, we're focusing on catastrophe bonds, which is a form of securitization used by the insurance industry to transfer the extreme risk to the capital markets. So we're finding that they're not, the models are not accurate, they're not improving over time, and in fact, what is actually driving the catastrophe bonds is other macroeconomic factors. The financialization in this particular case at the moment is not particularly contributing to social welfare, but is in fact enriching the investors as the models are overly pessimistic. We wanted to promote some healthy skepticism. It wasn't catastrophe bonds are bad or good. It was, let's think about it. When we are talking about pursuing the Sustainable Development Goals, is to what degree we can trust financial innovation, what needs to be developed, what should we be aware of. So we want to promote awareness of, when it comes to the subject, and help all of us as a community to start thinking, not accepting propositions at face value and saying, okay, great, we have a financial innovation here, we can solve all kinds of problems, and that will definitely help us reach the Sustainable Development Goals.
Not long after the article was published, the pandemic happened. And one form of catastrophe bonds is actually pandemic bonds. So there's actually a financial instrument to try to help in those situations when a pandemic erupts suddenly and unexpectedly. And so we were easily able to take our findings and understandings from the study and translate them into something immediate and useful and newsworthy, aligned with current events, and publish that in The Conversation. I think we got over 30,000 views for our piece on pandemic bonds. So I think that this is, I think, advice that is generally heard quite frequently, and I think is very good advice, is if you can tie your research into a specific newsworthy event, then that typically gets you inroads into more traditional and larger mainstream media outlets. There's a lot to like about the fact that finance is getting involved in these types of debates. But if you kind of really whittle it down to our findings, it's not very clear that this is the best approach, or that actually the beneficiaries of this are the people who need aid in case of these extreme situations, versus the big banks that are just figuring out perhaps more ways to add value for themselves. And so to express that clearly, not too critically, but also to have people's eyes a bit more open, I think walking that line of what a research finding really is, and landing on a yes or no conclusion, which is what most people want to read. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? It's I think that part for me is quite difficult to navigate, because in academia we're used to nuance, but in, I think, outreach, people want a clearer answer.